This week on Archery 101, we're going to cover the fifth step of our shot cycle, the setup. Alright everybody, take your seats. Let's get this class going. Alright, we're adding another brick to our foundation to a successful shot cycle. And this week, we are in the final preparatory movement known as the setup. Alright, now let's go a quick review over what we've done so far. We set our stance. We knocked our arrow. We hooked the string, and we set our grip. Now, this is where our shot cycle can vary. Alright, so let's not get too worried about anything. Now, for me, I use the setup as an opportunity to take it all in. Focus my mind and get things set. Right? You identify any challenges that are out there, make note of them, but don't focus or dwell on them, or guess what? We're going to hit them, right? Now, right now, the only thing that you need to be thinking about is what you need to do to successfully make the shot. Alright? That's a big key. So all we're focused on is what we need to do. Alright? Now, first thing you got to do is find where you want to hit. We're pretty much talking about for gap. It works for instinctive. Where do you want that arrow to hit? Find that spot. Find the smallest thing that you can identify on it. Alright? Now, if you're using gap, from that spot, you got to find your gap down. If you're instinctive, find that small spot and stay focused on it. Alright? Gap, you find it, locate it, and then work from there. If you're using split vision, you got where you want to hit, where it needs to go, but you still focus up here. Alright, so when you do this, all you're going to do for your setup, I'm here, got my hook, got my grip set, I'm looking at my target, taking in all the information, and from here is where we can have our variations, which we're going to go over next. Alright everybody, so we're there, right? Boom! You're all set up. Now, this is where, like I said, where the variations come in. If you're a snap shooter, that's the end of the setup for you right there. Right? Snap shooters lift up, boom, and they're gone. So your setup's right here. Now, if you're one of the people that lift their bows up, put it on target, this is your setup right here. Now you're getting everything dialed in. Right? If you're a high draw person, this is your setup. Comes up. That's your setup right there, because then when you start lowering it, that's when you start your draw, right? So as you can see, our setup ends at different places for each person. All right? Now, let's go on to the biggest secret. Don't know if I should tell you this. Yes, it's not as revolutionary or successful as the solution, right? But I found it made a huge difference for me and everybody else that showed it to me. So, what is it? Your front shoulder. Now, people tell you, well, you push, pull. Yes, but that's not what they meant. I swore that I was using my shoulder for years. I swore that I had proper back tension. I watched the videos, Jeff Kavanaugh's, Jimmy Blackman's, Grizzly Kent. I watched everybody. I read the books. Everybody there showing me how to use that proper muscles in your body and all that, yada, yada, yada. And I swore I was doing it. But I'm one of those people, when I hear somebody teach something, I usually got to take it and put it in my head and translate it into words that I understand or a concept that I understand. So I struggle by just listening. I actually have to do it. And I swore I had good solid front shoulder. Then I was shooting one day at the range and this guy came up and started talking to me. And he caught onto it, which nobody else did. I had many people, when I shoot in some of my older videos, you'll see my front hand going twing, 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 twing. Everybody's, oh Greg, it's this, it's this. You're not using your back. I am using my back. But I wasn't using it properly. So, that's the big one we're going to talk about now. And to do it, I've got to take off my sweatshirt. So I'll be right back. Alright everybody, how do we set our shoulder? Never heard that before probably, have you? We actually have to set our shoulder. when I shot before, this is how I was. And I'm squeezing my back right down there, that little area they're always telling you got to squeeze, right? You got to use that muscle. You got to squeeze your shoulder blades together, right? Got to do all that good stuff. And I was. But what I wasn't doing was setting my shoulder. This is how I shot before. Now watch the dot. And this is how I set now. See that movement back and in? Here, I'm going to pull my shoulder in. Then I'm going to bring it down. That's how you set your shoulder. So another way to think about it, shoulder joint, and there's actually a cup for your shoulder like that. So when you push it out, it's out here and there's movement. But when you do it right, it's in and your muscles wrap around it and tighten it up. This, yeah, it's stable. But it's not rock solid stable. See that? Watch the finger. There's that. Watch the gap close in. Boom. In and down. That's how you set your shoulder. If you start doing that, you're going to see improvements. I shoot with a guy named Scott. Scott was doing pretty good in a 450 league. He was shooting around a 290. That was his average. And I was watching him one day and he's struggling. And I shared what I was taught by this guy. And within a week, he was shooting 320s, 330s, easy. And his high was 340. So he made a 30, 40, and 50 point increase just by locking in that front shoulder. Now my average was around 320 to 330, right? Then I started playing with this. My average dropped down because this changed this for me. So I had to straighten that out. So I went down about 310, 320. Brought it at 330. I did a 342, and this past week I shot a 359, which is a personal best for me. So this little trick right here, in and down, has changed my archery game, as it just fell off. All right, everybody, got that little shoulder part in there. So how do we incorporate that into our setup? Well, for me, I've come up with some sayings. I get my stance, get my mind right, Knock my arrow. Then I say to myself, set my hook, set my grip, set my shoulder, set my hip. Draw straight, touch, expand, hold. Then in my head I stare at my target and go, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, and then I'll let go. Alright, so step 5 is the setup. Depending on how you shoot, your setup's going to be different. But the big thing I want everybody to take from this video is how to lock that shoulder in. It's don't push forward with the shoulder. You pull back and in with the shoulder, but you push forward with your hand. You can't do this unless you got the bow in your hand, because you'll feel what I mean. When this locked in, and if you don't push with your hand forward, you're going to feel this coming on. So we're going to push still. We push here. We pull here. Alright? That's a big one. So we are down to the final preparatory movement, this setup. Now, we are ready to shoot. And I'm telling you, this is what I found so far. If I do not do my setups right, my stance, my hook, my grip, and my setup, and my draw, it affects my release and my shot. Everybody, I hear so many people go, oh man, a bad release. Why'd you have a bad release? I'll tell you why. Because something before that, you did different. And it affected everything. Right? We want to keep it as similar as we can. Build that good, strong foundation. So when it comes time to do this, it's natural and the mind is clear. All right, class, we got something to work on, don't we? In and down, in and down, in and down. Takes the stress off the neck, puts it in the back. That's it for this week. I want you to go out and try that. Let me know how it's worked for you. And next week, we're going to start the draw. Starting to get to the money part now. All right, class, dismissed. Let's go out there and hit that range. Let's practice and let's get better together.